It is less than 5 days away. The Super Bowl 60 kicking off at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. The stage is set for a rematch between the Seahawks and the Patriots. We are in the Bay Area with coverage that you will see only on the home of the Hawks. The King 5 team arrived this weekend meeting with fans and the team. So many people have made the trek south for the Super Bowl. I'm Joyce Taylor coming at you live tonight from right in front of the Marconi Center. This is where all the action is. This is where the fans started the fan experience today. Food, music. There's just so much to see and so much to do. And on this gorgeous day, the weather could not be perfect, although I must admit, starting to cool down at nighttime, just as you'd expect here in San Francisco. All week long, we're bringing you stories, sharing how the team and the fans are counting down to kickoff. Hopefully you joined us last night for the opening night interviews. The week started with interviews from the players and the head coaches. Last night was a bigger event. Today, Paul Sylvie was able to speak to some of those players once again, and he joins us live with more on that. Paul?
Yeah, you're talking about some of those players gathering at the media availability. It was the second chance for reporters to talk to these guys up close and get some in-depth questions. And one of the more popular players for the Seahawks is always Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's always got a huge crowd of cameras around him before he gets to his podium, and that was the case today. It was fun to talk to him, and he always gets asked about Kupp and how much he's a mentor to him. And it goes back and forth because Kupp will tell you, as a veteran and a former Super Bowl MVP, he learns a lot from guys like Jackson Smith-Njigba and Puka Nacua, who is teammates with the Rams. He gleans information from these young guys. So it goes back and forth. We've seen the production from Jackson Smith-Njigba this year, led the NFL in receiving yards, and today he was another popular choice to talk to at Media Day.
I grew up playing a lot of sports, baseball included, basketball. I was big in basketball. That took me away kind of from baseball season. But growing up kind of east of Dallas, East Texas, born in Nacogdoches, moved to Terrell, Texas, Forney, Texas, ended up going to school at Rockwall, Texas, where I grew up. And, football is huge there. Was playing, football since I was 3 years old. And, it's a blessing, it's a blessing from where I came from, and definitely got me here today.
Jackson, who was the most Cowboys?
Say it again?
How's your walk with faith helped you during the ups and downs?
Yeah, I just have unwavering faith. Results are one game, bad game, good game. It doesn't, move me. And I think just being able to stand on that has brought a lot of peace in my life.
What do you think makes you unique?
I think, just problem solving, being out there, understanding defenses, man or zone, and, getting funky looks that we're not used to. I think being able to problem solve and still connect with my quarterback is something that I would say is pretty good about my game.
Is there a receiver in the league that reminds you of you?
In the league right now?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say fully, no.
Jackson, can you talk about how this team was built? There's been a lot of discussion about how much was gained in the first round when you and Devin got taken, but it's the third youngest team in the league. You've added some veterans like Kupp and D-Law and a few others. Can you talk a bit about the mix and why it works so well?
Yeah, I think John and all the guys have done a great job building this roster, and I think there's a certain type of guy they look for, and you got to love football, you got to love competing, and you got to be a good guy. I would give credit to everyone in our locker room. We got a bunch of great guys who really love each other and love to play for each other and love ball and love to win. So I think just having that DNA is something special that's in the locker room. And
if you guys win, would you cover up the Dallas Cowboys tattoo?
Nah, I don't think I cover it up.
Do you think the Cowboys can ever win a Super Bowl?
I don't know. Oh, definitely. I think just seeing this thing grow, and what he's built, kind of his vision on what this team is supposed to look like and how he wants it to look like, I think has a big impact on how we move and and our belief in our culture. So I give credit to that. Him just putting it into words and really standing on that every single day. And like I said, finding the right group of guys to get it done.
Jackson, you talked about your love for basketball and playing basketball growing up. We saw your pops actually dunking over the goalpost. I was wondering, what would you believe your NBA comp would be, and do you have a favorite NBA team?
Yeah. I like the Mavericks and I like the Lakers. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a Kyrie fan, so I watch a lot of Kyrie highlights. I love his creativity with the rock. I think it's special. So I'll say Kyrie. I would say Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, you mentioned Lakers and Mavericks. Do you have any, what were your thoughts about the trade? Obviously, it's been a year now from
Oh, yeah. I remember it. It was shocking, honestly. Me being a Dallas native, it was shocking. Couldn't believe it. Was a little happy he went to the Lakers, that I'm a LeBron fan. But, yeah, so it was kind of bittersweet.
Hey Jackson, can I show you a quick video? That's your
Wow,
first,
getting drafted.
that's your first pro interview. You gave it to me.
Wow, man.
So,
Good to
nice
see you again, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any touchdown celebration prepared for Sunday?
Oh, no, I usually work on that stuff on Friday, so.
It's because maybe I am your lucky charm.
Okay, yeah.
So let's plan a celebration.
Okay.
If you score, just do like this.
Look, that? Okay. Okay.
Got you, man.
All right, brother.
Is your ability to get cuts quickly, is that something that is natural to your ability, or is that something that you've trained and focused on over the years?
I do. Yeah, I think it is natural. It's something I've been doing for a very long time. So, I definitely work on it. But I think, basketball, I give credit to basketball. I give credit to playing shortstop back in the day, just being in the right position, the right body position to be explosive and to get in and out of my cuts. Yeah, he's an elite cornerback, well-rounded cornerback, can really do it all. And, it's going to be a fun matchup. Great player.
Jackson, you're playing the Super Bowl in the building where you clinched the #1 playoff seed. Did you have a feeling that day when you were playing the 49ers that you'd be back?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Clinching that first seed is huge, honestly. And definitely felt, kind of the momentum and kind of the spirit of, we'll be back here.
When you get the 49ers locker room this time, you going to leave any little messages for them?
Messages, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Jackson, there's a lot of stuff that you've learned from Cooper, over the course of this year, but what's something maybe you've taken from him about showing up in big games the way you did in the NFC Championship game, the way you went to Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, really, like I've been saying, and what Kupp brought to this team, in his words, is, process over results. And, it's not about, the game is the game, and we're going to be ready for it, and I'm going to give it all each and every single game. For us, it's about process, making sure we're ready, making sure we know exactly where we need to be, run game and pass game. And, I think he's brought that to me and the team, and it's excelled us.
How influential was Brian Hartline in your development?
Huge. Him having a big career, a great career in the NFL, helping young kids like myself understand the game, and especially coming out of high school, that's a big learning curve, high school to college. So just to have him, his support has been great.
What tips, if any, did you learn from Cooper about route running?
One more time.
What tips, if any, did you learn from Cooper about route running?
Yeah. A lot. Like when to bring energy in the route, at the top of the route, bringing energy and playing fast, really.
It's interesting to hear these players talk the last couple of days, and you get the feeling that they are really tired of answering an hour's worth of questions each day. They want to get back on the field and get practicing and get ready for this big game on Sunday. They've had the day off today, no practice for the players, but tomorrow they're back on the field. They'll get after it and start game planning and deep diving into the Patriots. So a lot to look forward to on this show all week long and, of course, on Sunday. Joyce, back to you.
Gotta say, they seem so calm and cool, like you would never think that the nerves are going. But you know they have to be. You know they got to be excited and nervous leading to Super Bowl Sunday. All right, thanks, Paul. We'll get back to you in just a few minutes. So in the 24 hours that we have been here, we have seen plenty of fans. In San Jose last night, the Hawks took to the floor. It was opening night to talk to the media. Fans were cheering, of course. A lucky few got to ask the players questions of their own. In that crowd was Matt Darlington and his 14-year-old son, Parker. They drove all the way down from Leavenworth. They go to every single Super Bowl. They don't have tickets to get in, but they like the energy, so they love to be on the outside during the game. But, of course, this year they get to cheer on the home team. It will be different.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The Seahawks, it's like amazing.
How old are you?
I just turned 14 a little bit ago.
This is a life moment. You're going to remember this forever, aren't you?
For sure. Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen in this game?
Seahawks going to win by 7.
By 7. You heard Parker, and I think that he's probably pretty good on his predictions. He seems like he knows this game pretty well. Okay, they are going to be somewhere around the stadium tomorrow to watch the championship game. Not championship game, the Super Bowl game. So we'll see if we can connect back up with them on Super Bowl Sunday. This father and son duo, by the way, they're not the only ones to make the road trip. Hundreds, if not thousands of fans have made their way south from Washington State. The Northwest invasion of Northern California is fully underway as the 12 start descending for the Super Bowl. Some are flying, others are hitting I-5 South, and that's what our Olympia Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson did.
That's not some fake team's background behind us. That's the real thing, the Golden Gate Bridge. We made it almost 800 miles down from Olympia over the past 2 days. And as someone who grew up about 5 miles from here, it's a thrill to be here. And the 12s can't wait to get in their 12 mobiles and join us.
That's just the old basic 305 stock motor.
For Tom Triggs, his hawk rod is his baby.
Purrs like a Kit Kat on a Monday night, ready for football.
He found this 1979 Chevy El Camino in a Yakima junkyard in 2010.
So I took it home to the garage, sanded her down, painted her up, and I says, that looks pretty good, but it ain't done yet. You know what, boys? I tell you what if I put a Super Bowl field in the back end? I wonder if that'd fit. And guess what? It fits.
And Friday morning, this Vietnam veteran is taking his rod, complete with Kingdome turf and those PVC field goals, down to California, solo, but part of a convoy.
This here's a bunch of minds with the 12 mentality spirit in it. We Seahawk 12ers that like to ride on our pride. When you ride on your pride, it's a smooth wave all the time.
I remember this Super Bowl. I'll never forget this Super Bowl. I was there.
Justin Smith flew to New York for the victorious Seahawks Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got all new tires. We went with the Goodyears. It should give us a nice little ride.
This time, he and some buddies are driving this retired double-decker transit bus from London, England, down I-5 to Santa Clara.
Pretty dirty.
The Beast bus needs a tune-up, but they say it'll be ready. And this crew is prepared for a less than welcoming Northern California reception.
Can you imagine a San Francisco 49er bus coming into Seattle? It's exactly the same way that I would feel.
No, I've been to enemy territory. Tell the Viet Cong couldn't kill me. How are they going to kill me?
Tom is used to the hawk rod bringing out the worst in opponents. He can't wait. The convoy departs first thing Friday morning.
Let's get the Hawkorama going. We got to get it started, baby. Start the party.
If you're about to hit the road and you're still packing, make sure to take an extra layer. San Francisco is gorgeous this week, but it can get cool. The wind can pick up. Of course, there's always that chance of fog down here. One more tip, don't call it Frisco or even San Fran. It's San Francisco. The locals won't give you a hard time if you say that. From San Francisco, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
And we'll be here, by the way, to meet the Beast Bus at the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, a place for 12s here in the Bay Area. We are taking you to The Bar, considered the home of the Hawks, right here at enemy territory, an Irish pub that will be cheering on the Seahawks on Super Bowl Sunday. Also, the hot items fans are picking up here in San Francisco. A look at the merch already flying off the shelves. And bragging rights are on the line in a Des Moines household. A Seahawks fan, a Patriots fan, and a baby due on game day. How one couple's bracing for kickoff and their biggest life moment yet. So welcome back to our countdown to kickoff. We are seeing more and more fans showing up in San Francisco and across the Bay Area. There's going to be so much to do. The fan experience opened just this afternoon. So cool inside, food, music, all kinds of things. Fans are coming, and they're, of course, ready to shop for Super Bowl merch, for Seahawks gear. We went to take a look at the NFL store here in the Moscone Center before it opened to fans. Plenty to shop for, including shirts with your favorite players' numbers, even the same sweatshirts the team wore last night for opening night. And earlier today, I made a stop at Danny Coyle's Pub. It is the Seahawks bar here in San Francisco. It is right in the heart of downtown's historic district. Yes, it is in enemy territory. And the owner, Brian Coyle, he's actually a 49ers fan. So, of course, we had to stop in and ask him, what's the backstory? Brian Coyle, your name is on the building.
Yes.
Take us back to the beginning, the founding of this bar and your dad.
So this bar, we founded June 9th, 2006. We named the bar after my dad.
What does it mean to have your family name on a business in this day and age and still have the reputation, the pride, the history of your family? You're from Ireland, obviously.
From Ireland. My dad's from Derry, Northern Ireland, and very proud. My son's name is Danny Coyle too. So to hand down the legacy and to create a legacy is pretty amazing. Yes.
You're a 49ers fan, but this is a Seahawks notorious bar. How did that happen?
Well, there's a record store across the street there called Groove Merchant Records, and a young kid at the time who was working there, his name was Jerome Zek, came to me and he says, is there any chance of having one TV for a Seahawks game? And I thought, why not? What could be wrong with that? So we let him have the one TV. It sort of blew up on Facebook and then just snowballed, and then we became the Seahawks bar. So that's the jersey that we put up as the 12th fan. We put that up in 2014. And see that TV there? That TV was bought by the Seahawks faithful that come here every week.
This is the Seahawks corner right here.
This is Seahawks corner. And of course, they're on all the TVs, but this is where the diehards are.
Did you reluctantly become a Seahawks bar, or did you embrace it?
At first, a wee bit reluctant, but then I started to embrace it. And the fans and the brethren were like family, and they've been with us for 15 years. It's amazing. Back in the day, there used to be a line around the corner pre-COVID, and we used to have a guest list and stuff like that. And then we used to get Olympia beer from Washington, and it was just a frenzy. See, when I think in the NFC title game against the Niners.
Yes, that's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry. It's a massive rivalry.
Like nobody's business.
Yeah, and
so
believe me,
what was that game like in here?
That was epic. Yeah. Actually, I got a lot of abuse from my Niners friends when I rang the bell for their victory.
When I Google Seahawks bars in San Francisco, this is the one that comes up at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Does that make you proud?
It does, because we've invested the time and the love, and as I said, these Seahawks regulars are like family. And they don't just come here for Seahawks games, They're great. They're very loyal and they're very good to us.
And not only that, you have Alan, who's one of the Seahawks fans.
Yes.
He has merchandise that's Seahawks gear with Coyle's name on it.
I know. Isn't that great?
It's so great.
Yeah, which he custom made himself, I believe.
Since 2014.
How did that happen?
So randomly I walked in here Halloween of 2013, didn't notice the jersey, and then I was dating a girl who was from Seattle, and we watched the game at another bar, and there was a bunch of Seahawks fans that came up like, oh, we came from Danny Coyle's. Well, I got the flu during the Super Bowl the first time, so I couldn't be here, so I came back the next year, and I've never left. And it's a Seahawks bar because there were some guys that had started here who had just like, they came in and they got the lucky TV, and then they just kept it going. And then I came along a little bit after that, and then obviously COVID happened. A lot of people had to move back to Seattle, and they had families and things like that. And I just well, I'm not going anywhere.
What's special about this place? So special that you have it on the back of your jersey and your custom hat.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite bar in the city, so I'm spoiled. I get to watch my favorite team in my favorite bar in San Francisco. Happy or sad, the special moments, the not so special moments, all clumped in one place.
What makes this bar, Danny Coyle, special?
The people. I mean, the ownership, the people, the vibes, it's Disneyland to me. And I'm just always, it's like, people go to church on Sunday, this is church to me. This is the place to be.
So this coming Sunday, where are you going to be?
Right here.
Right on.
Hey,
Joy.
man, it's my favorite place to be. I just hope we get this win on Sunday.
And I guarantee you it is going to be packed. So if you're planning on going down to Danny Coyle's pub, you got to get there early. It's going to be wall to wall, and there are going to be 12s absolutely everywhere. And yes, Brian told me he's still going to root for the Seahawks on Super Bowl Sunday, despite the fact that he's actually a 49ers fan. We'll appreciate it for that one day, Brian. Darling, and loved meeting you. Okay, so as you know, we have a lot more coming up. Still another half hour ahead. The Pro Bowl games happening right now with football fans here from all over. So who are they rooting for leading up to Sunday's big game? We're going to find out. And the NFL has rolled out the fan experience inside Marconi Center. Food, music, merch, lots to do and see. We're going to take you along to see what it's like for those lucky enough to get inside.
Oh!
This Des Moines couple has the ultimate Super Bowl showdown. So she's a diehard Seahawks fan. He bleeds Patriots red and blue, and their first child is due on game day. King 5's Brady Wakayama caught up with the soon-to-be parents who are gearing up for a weekend of excitement. Can hardly wait.
It means family. Really, football means family for us.
This football family is getting closer to the end zone.
Well, it just seemed that the stars aligned.
Soon to be adding a member to their team.
Due on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Isabella Crane and her husband Brady are diehard football fans. She's a proud 12, while Brady...
I wore it with pride. I always had Patriots gear on, and maybe a little bit obnoxious about it, but...
This couple's dedication to their teams is on an even playing field.
Oh!
This is a video recorded last summer on the 50-yard line of the Central Washington University football field, where the couple worked at the time. A game-changing moment they'll never forget.
Sweet baby girl.
She's gonna be a Hawks fan. Maybe she'll be a Patriots fan.
Isabella's friend organized this gender reveal for the couple. Since they received a Seahawks onesie, their baby is a girl. If it was a Patriots outfit, it would have meant a boy is on the way.
To be honest, I thought that I was going to be like, oh man, it's Seahawks. But I remember looking at it and it's like, oh my gosh. The first thing you thought about was picturing your baby girl wearing that and just how cute it was going to be. So no, it was awesome. Like, and just seeing her face and just how excited she was.
Every touchdown since feels like a countdown to game day and delivery day.
This one's pretty cute.
I think the Seahawks, of course.
This one comes with a lot of rings.
And I think the green will bring out the color of her eyes, no matter what color they are.
They might not see eye to eye on which team colors look better on their newborn, but they both agree. If their little girl decides to make her debut on Super Bowl Sunday, that's a championship moment they'll cherish forever.
Healthy baby girl is all we can ask for, and that is the biggest win of all. Seahawks for the girls.
Hell yeah.
Reporting for King 5 News, I'm Brady Wakayama.
Wishing them the absolute best. Okay, who is rooting for the Hawks, the Patriots? We're going to check in with fans here for the Pro Bowl games at Marconi Center. And we're going to hear from the Seahawks, Ariel Arsuto, talking to some of the rookies about to play in the biggest game of their lives. So it's not just the Seahawks and the Patriots facing off this week. Take a look at this event today. The NFL Flag Girls High School Showcase. Teams from all across the country facing off during one of the biggest weeks of football. That game happened here right inside this convention center, Moscone Convention Center, right behind me. It is buzzing still on this opening day of the fan experience. And as for the stars, well, Paul Sylvie caught up with the Hawks today, and he joins us once again, Paul.
Yeah, Joyce, it's interesting to go to these media availabilities when the reporters and cameras are all crowding around these guys at their podiums each day, and they have two more of those scheduled tomorrow and Thursday before the NFL shuts it down and no one else is available the rest of the week until after the game on Sunday. But we've talked about the popularity of Sam Darnold, JSN, some of these other big names, Leonard Williams, attracting a crowd. But one of the best-kept secrets on this team in those media availabilities is rookie Gray Zable. He held court today and had some great answers to some interesting questions. Here he is.
I think just the chip on the shoulder mentality is huge, and I think it's so cool to be so well represented by FCS schools in this Super Bowl, as guys on both teams are, Big Kupp, it's a prime example. But I think it's cool because at the end of the day, if you're good enough, they're going to find you. And just continuing to work hard and develop is most important in this game of football. And it's one of those days I'm so grateful for my background at North Dakota State and what it's taught me and how it's gotten me here. And we're excited to continue to use that mentality moving forward in the NFL.
Gray, speaking of that with Jalen Sundell, you've talked before about how you pitched yourself out on the field for a regular season. Have you mentioned where you've gotten at this point, roommates?
The only thing I said is, who would have thought a few years ago at North Dakota State, who would have thought that we'd be here about to play for a Super Bowl. What an unreal experience, and the world truly comes full circle that this is happening, and I'm super excited, and it's going to be one of those deals. It might be a little bit longer hug in the tunnel before we run out onto the field, knowing what this game means and how special of a moment it's going to be.
How many Super Bowls have you watched?
I want to say 3 for sure, as we lived together for like 3 or 4 years, so 3 for sure.
You guys obviously had NFL.
We ordered food in for sure.
You guys were good enough players that you had NFL aspirations, but does this exceed anything you could have possibly dreamed of, that you're, like you said, going to be going out that tunnel together for a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think as a little kid, you always have the dream of playing in a Super Bowl. You watch the Super Bowls growing up, and you always have the dream of playing in one. But then when it really comes to fruition and you're able to say that you're going out there to play for a Super Bowl, you got to pinch yourself, because it's one of those deals. It's a super cool experience, but all in all, it's another football game, and I think understanding that's going to be really important, and understanding to not get too high or not to get too low, and just kind of stay in the middle and be loose and focused for this football game.
Greg, given your high school and college background, is there a guy that comes to mind when I ask you, someone who you thought was going to make the league that didn't or hasn't yet, that really needs a shout out?
Yeah, the first person I would think of would be Lincoln Keenholz. He's still in college right now. He's at Louisville, QB. But he's a guy that I played with when I was a senior. He was a freshman. Consider him like my little brother. But he was bar down the most talented, athletic human being I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm excited for his future and what he's going to do at Louisville this coming fall, and excited to watch him kind of get his opportunity to show what he's made of.
Was there a moment or play from high school that stuck in from him? Like you said, it was a short period of time.
Yeah, probably when he was like dunking in practice, like all this, like I'm having to build up like 10, 15 feet before I go and try and dunk it and like barely get it over the rim, and he's just going and like damn near windmilling it, and I'm just like, all right, dude, you can't jump like that as a 14-year-old kid. Like, that's not fair at all.
Last one. Which one of your teammates here should I talk to next, and what should I ask them?
I'm trying to see who's all here. Go ask AJ Barner, like, what's his mentality going to be like on Sunday, and if we're just going to grind meat and carry water. Like, that'd be a great question for AJ, as we always talk about that before every single drive. So we have a lot of fun playing together, and we're just a bunch of meatheads out there on the football field.
What is grind, like, is grind meat, carry water, the type of...
Just the mentality you got to have while playing this game of football, and I don't know how it started. It was probably some silly thing we started in training camp, but it's kind of a saying we say out in the huddle, and it's kind of caught fire, and now we jokingly say it all the time to each other.
How do you see Milton Williams and the challenge that he possesses going up against him?
Yeah, he's an unbelievable football player. He's a just true competitor. I mean, I have my work cut out for me, as he's an elite level player. So I think there's things that we're going to have to hang our hat on and understand this is what we're going to have to do to stop him, and I'm looking forward to that.
Gray, you talked about the defensive linemen on the Seahawks roster that have helped you since training camp, but 3 10-year veterans in Jared Reed, D-Law, and Leo, like, what have those guys meant to the team, just overall, their leadership, their play?
You can't replicate what they've done for this organization, for this team, the culture, the connectivity, the leadership that they bring to the table, it's one of one. I still remember in training camp where D-Law bumped inside to a 3-tech, and I tried this pass play. I tried throwing my hands and just grabbed my wrist out of midair. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a long day if he stays here. But stuff like that. And then him after practice working with me, telling me what he's looking for, what he understands of my game and stuff like that. And Leo and Jay Reed and Murph have done that for me. And I think the coolest thing of this all is, like, they didn't owe me anything when I first showed up. And they've been so giving, and the knowledge that they've gave me and helped me understand about this game of football has been remarkable, and I'll never be able to repay those guys. But that just goes to show you what type of people they are, what type of human beings and leaders that they are, that they take a guy like me who's so green to the NFL kind of under their wing and show me the ropes.
And for all three of those guys, this is their first Super Bowl. Just to know that they're going to go on this journey for the first time in decade-long careers, what does that mean?
Nobody more deserving. I thought it was a cool thing. After the NFC Championship, somebody came up to me and asked, like, how rewarding or how deserving do you feel to be going to the Super Bowl? And the first thing that hit my mind was, like, I don't deserve this. This is not about me. This is about guys like Leonard Williams, Jay Reed, D-Law, Sam, those guys that have been in the NFL and that have poured into me and been the best teammates possibly could be. It's for these guys. And I'm just glad to be a part of it and glad to be here to do my part to get them there, because they're the most deserving guys on our team to be able to go to a Super Bowl. And I'm excited to see them in the moment and see them kind of take in this opportunity this Sunday.
So you go back to that chunk of sound there with Gray, and I mean, he clearly had the sound bite of the day. He was talking about A.J. Barner and grinding meat and carrying the water. I mean, it was just interesting to hear from him. Interesting to hear how grateful he is to the veterans on this team. So we talk about Gray Zable's athletic ability all season long and how he went from rookie to vet by the end of the season. Just a tremendous offensive lineman with a lot of work still to do, which he'll admit. But he doesn't get to that point without the defensive lineman helping him. So as tremendous a talent as he is, he needed the help from the other guys, and it's so awesome that these Seahawk veterans give back, because they know that's the future of this team and the franchise is these young guys. So great to hear some of those stories, and it's been fun watching him grow from that rookie game to where he is right now at the Super Bowl. So a lot of fun. Joyce, back to you.
It is so special hearing him talk about how the veterans really mean so much too. And by the way, I'm going to be talking to Haley Williams tomorrow, Leonard Williams' wife. So look forward to that interview big time. Okay, we have a lot coming up. The NFL commissioner addressed rumors about the Seahawks being sold while speaking at the Super Bowl media event this week. I'm sure you all have heard the rumors. He was asked about a report in the Wall Street Journal saying that the team was expected to go up for sale after the Super Bowl. Lawyers for Paul Allen's estate denied those claims. Last night, the commissioner commended Jody Allen for her work with the team, and he said the Seahawks will be sold, but the timing will be up to her.
They've done a really important job in the context of the trust and the execution of that. But eventually the team will need to be sold in accordance with that. That'll be Jody's decision when she does that. And we will be supportive of that.
The Wall Street Journal also reporting the team had been fined $5 million for being out of compliance with the ownership requirements. The commissioner denied those claims as well. Okay, so imagine being a rookie and playing what's going to be the biggest game of your life. Ariel Orsuto caught up with some of the newest players on the team today in San Jose.
The Seahawks have the fourth youngest team in the entire NFL with an average age of 26 and only 7 guys over the age of 30. Not only do the vets have a little youthful pep in their step, but the Hawks struck gold in the draft with starters like Nick Imanwari and Gray Zable.
Yeah, that's a testament to our organization, you know, being able to go out there and scout guys like those. Them buying into the, the game plan and everything Coach McDonald laid out, man. You know, those guys came here from the day they got drafted, and they put their head down and they worked, man.
Yeah, I think directly for me, I'm dealing with young Nick Imanwari. Just incredible, talented goofball. And from the jump, I told him, like, listen, man, like, there's urgency to be successful here. We need you on the field. You make us better. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. This defense can be complex at times, but if you get your job done and lock in and just are humble about it, like, we could be special, and we need you to be special. We got there's some urgency with some vets here, just trying to win now.
The coolest thing of this all is, like, they didn't owe me anything when I first showed up, and they've been so giving, and the knowledge that they've gave me and helped me understand about this game of football has been remarkable, and I'll never be able to repay those guys.
Don't look any further than head coach Mike McDonald for more fresh energy. The second-year head coach is the second youngest in the league at only 38 years old.
He lets his players be themselves. He's a bit of a younger coach himself, hasn't been in the head coaching role for too long, so he's kind of learning along the way as well, and goes to his players and gets their opinions on things that he wants to know as well. So I think his willingness to work with his players and adapt is something that stands out to me.
This is not a knock on the more mature guys on the team. Far from it. In fact, the 4 oldest Seahawks are the most accomplished guys on the team. You've got 34-year-old Jason Myers, 33-year-olds Jaron Reed and DeMarcus Lawrence, and then 32-year-old Cooper Kupp. From Santa Clara, Ariel Orsuto, King 5 Sports.
And some of the best players in the NFL competed in the Pro Bowl tonight. What they're saying about the Seahawks' chances in the Super Bowl. And Yakima native Cooper Kupp talking about what it means to lead his hometown team to the Super Bowl. So tonight, some fun before the big game. The Pro Bowl took place right behind me earlier this evening. And while none of the Seahawks played, those who did spoke to our Drew Andre about the Seahawks' chances this coming Sunday.
For example, Cardinals tight end Trey McBride, he's very familiar with the Seahawks, having played them twice this year. He said their defense is so strong, it's going to be hard for the Patriots to score, and if that's the case, he really likes the Seahawks' chances. The Pro Bowl will be happening today right over in that building. That's where they had a practice yesterday that we checked out and got the chance to speak with these players. It's a pretty small venue and a very casual environment, but stars like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb from the Cowboys were signing autographs and taking selfies. Most of the big NFL names were there. The event this year will be a flag football game and a skills competition too, a little different than years past, but think of this essentially as the All-Star game for the NFL. I caught up with some divisional rivals of the Seahawks, including the 49ers' Christian McCaffrey, who is a close friend with the Hawks quarterback.
You know, a hell of a team, obviously a great defense. I've played with Sam Darnold a bunch, and don't have enough good words to say about him. He's one of my best friends, hell of a teammate, hell of a player, and super happy for his success.
They're physical. They do a great job. Obviously, that front with Williams and those 2 edge rushers they have are pretty good. But then that secondary, man, you get into Woolen and Witherspoon and Kobe Bryant and Love, all those guys, man. There's a lot of really good players on that defense. They're physical, they're tough, and just love playing against those guys.
So some pretty high praise there, and an extra special thank you to Christian McCaffrey, who I was a little hesitant to even ask about the Seahawks because, of course, it was just a few weeks ago that his team was knocked out by them. So tonight is the Pro Bowl happening right on over there at 5 o'clock. Reporting from San Francisco, I'm Drew Andre.
Cooper Kupp was one of the biggest names added this offseason to the Seahawks, and when he got here in his introductory press conference, he could not stop talking about how great it was to be back here playing for his hometown team. He even gave some of his best times watching the Seahawks, even at Lumen Field. He talked about that again today in his press conference and talked about how just meaningful it is to be playing for the Seahawks.
It's the same message that everyone says. I think the only thing that I bring is maybe a little validity because I've lived it, but it's like, hey, this is as cliche as it is. This is just like any other game, and you have to go and handle all of the distractions and things like that. But no, this is the game same game that you've played, and when it starts up, it's going to feel that way.
Cooper, like you mentioned, Jackson was already a great player last year, but where have you seen him grow this season since you've been?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that's been really cool to see is, as he took off this year. He was getting a lot of attention, and teams want to take him away. They're going to try to find ways to keep him from getting the ball, and his focus to be able to push through and say, hey, it might not be there in the first and second quarter, but being able to stay focused and say, hey, if I can stay engaged in this thing, if I know that I can keep my mind focused on just the next play and winning that rep, the ball's going to find him. And so he's done an unbelievable job of that, of being, there's times where it might not be coming to him early, but he's made that big play in the third or fourth quarter because he's been so engaged, even when the ball's not coming his way.
How did you learn that lesson in your career?
Oh, I mean, it's something I think that you learn as you play receiver as more time goes on, and understand that there's 10 other guys out there that have to do their job for you to even have the chance of getting the ball thrown your way, and you can do everything right, and the ball still might not come your way, and that's okay, because it's not about you making the play, it's about the team making the play, and that's the beautiful thing about receiver.
His journey from going from first round pick to backup and then Super Bowl star.
Yeah, I mean, I've touched on this a little bit, but I mean, it's an unbelievable story. It's not there's not many guys that have done what he's done in terms of kind of people writing him off, and then being able to chip away at that and come back and do what he's done to be at this stage now, and the mental fortitude, the resilience to be able to push through those things, the self-belief. It's a special trait of Sam Darnold's.
What do you think your role in all of this? This is the third youngest team in the NFL right now, but there's been some veterans added in the last couple of years, you being one. Can you describe your role amidst the fairly young?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just want to be an open book. However I can help someone, if I think that's the attitude of all the guys. I mean, it's servant leadership, and we're not here to run the team. The guys that are here that have been through it, like we're not the ones that set the culture. The team sets that together, and so guys want to be an open book. If there's something that guys want to ask us and have questions or anything, like, we're ready to help, and it's because of that you got guys that are intrinsically motivated to want to be better. That's what makes us good.
Does it help that you've been a Super Bowl MVP? Like, is that something you can impart, or do you guys look to you?
No, I don't know. I mean, I would never just be like, hey, you gotta listen to me because I've won the Super Bowl MVP. It's if you're not, you gotta model the way. You gotta show them. I mean, it's people over and over again. They see better than they hear. So it doesn't really matter what you're saying to somebody. If you're not modeling that yourself, you just come off as a hypocrite. And so you definitely don't want to live in that world.
Cooper, it's been exactly 1 year actually since the Rams indicated they were going to move on from you. Could you kind of describe the moment you kind of heard back on that from a year ago, reminiscing your time with the Rams? What was your favorite memory? Could you kind of describe the journey to get back to the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough way for things to end last year, and there'll be a time to kind of really reflect and go into that stuff. Right now, it's about going out here and winning a Super Bowl, and so this journey and being able to be a part of this team and the guys here and the relationships that I've built with the players and the coaches here have been such a special thing. And to be a year ago where I was to being able to be here now, I don't take that for granted and don't take that lightly. It's a real sense of gratitude for being where I am now.
What was your favorite Rams memory from your time?
Oh, I don't. I mean, there's so many. I don't know if I could even put my finger on one of them. I think the thing that I remember the most that comes to mind all the time has been the relationships. It's been the moments with the guys. And that's the coolest thing about football. You go through all this. You spend so much time together. You toil together. You fail together. And being able to go through that and overcome those things together, it builds some really cool bonds with guys. And those are the things that I think I hold dearest.
You grew up in Washington State. Can you talk a little bit about your memories of supporting the Seahawks and whether that makes it sweeter to be at a Season Bowl with them?
Yeah, so when I was really young, I was a huge Seahawks fan until I found out that bedtime was when the game ended, and so then I just became a overtime fan. But I do have a lot of memories of every Sunday we'd get up, we'd go to church, come home, Dad would make nachos or something, and we'd throw the Seahawks game on. And so those are special. It's the memories with your fans, those kinds of things. It's the memories. It's the games itself, but it's not so much the play. You remember the moments of these big plays and these big moments that happened in the game, but it wasn't so much for me the play itself as much as it was who I was around and the people that I got to experience that with that make it really special. Yeah, no, it is. It's super cool, and there'll be a time to really be able to reflect on that and know that I get to be a part of that for some kids that are in right where I was and in the shoes that I was in, and so there'll be time for that reflection. Right now, I'm just really grateful to be in this place.
Cooper Kupp is only one of 2 guys on this team with some Super Bowl experience, or Super Bowl rings, I should say. That's just him and his former teammate, Ernest Jones. They won that back in 2021 with the Rams. But he's trying to step aside and let each guy kind of pave their own path here at this Super Bowl. Joyce?
Thanks, Ariel. So it's just Tuesday, but in the last 24 hours, we can just feel the 12s arriving. And Jim Nelson's with us now, and you've been hanging out with some 12s. Can you just feel it? The energy's coming.
Yeah, they're absolutely partying, and they are absolutely confident that the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. But you know what's been so cool is meeting so many different fans from so many different backgrounds, like the mother and son from Marysville who just wanted to come down and spend some time together. So that's exactly what they're doing. Like so many other fans, I met them here at the Super Bowl Experience, which, as we've talked about, is the interactive event being held here at the Convention Center downtown. They've got, look, entertainment, music, all sorts of games and photo ops. It really is one of the cornerstones of Super Bowl week each and every year. And that's one of the things that really brings these families together. Like the Gilberts, who I mentioned, from Marysville, a mother and her 15-year-old son.
We don't get to really go to much games or, experience things like that. So just being able to be here and do this together especially it's awesome, and we're so excited for the Seahawks. They got this.
It's incredible. I love every moment of it. Spending time with my mother. I love just, my first, NFL experience. So this was just a really, great moment to me.
It was actually Dad's idea. Dad was the one who pushed them to come down because they're the football nerds. Their words, not mine, Joyce.
They're the nerds. I love that.
And they embrace it.
And you got to meet so many different 12s. We're going to be talking to people all week long. So many more days to go. We are your station for the Seahawks. We're going to carry you through Super Bowl Sunday and beyond, and you'll watch us every night streaming at 8 o'clock right here, our Kickoff to Countdown in San Francisco, all the way to Santa Clara. Night, everybody.